Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the Collective Unfiltered. We hope that everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Today's show is gonna be very special. Y'all gonna talk to us. Catfish himself is gonna do the interview, and y'all just gonna see what's happened to us in 2020 and what we got and what we're looking forward to in 2021. Bug, say what up to the people.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Happy New Year, 2021 or 21. I don't know. 2020 kind of rolled off your tongue. 2021 is a little much, but yeah, man, I'm happy to be back in the building, back on the grind. You know, big top of the new year. Although we grind all year, so it ain't like the new year or something.
Right.
Just crazy.
Facts.
But other than that, all good. I'm excited. We got a lot of stuff to share with the people. So I'm excited.
Whoop whoop. Let's get it. Bo, you want to thank our sponsors real quick before we hop on?
Absolutely. Shout out to Orange Mountain Designs, Terry Holder out there in Alcoa. They're having a big sale. She's getting rid of some of the accessories, license plates, socks, things of that nature. So definitely go check them out. For those of you that have always wanted a Tennessee Lady Vol license plate, get it while supplies last. Shout out to Hound Dogs of Knoxville, Tennessee Tap House, and our guy Nelson down in Miami with Just Pass It Tutoring.
Absolutely. And we also, of course, we appreciate all of our listeners and followers and fans. We love y'all. Bobby let us know today we are entering 2021 the right way. We're on Anchor, Spotify, and all of your podcasting platforms. Hopefully soon to be iTunes as well. We're waiting on that process, but hey, now y'all can hear us anywhere and everywhere, you know, whether it's just the audio or if y'all want to catch us, you know, on the live recordings or live. We would love to have you live. You know what I mean?
Spotify, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Google Podcast, Breaker, and Anchor right now. And the link is in the description in both YouTube and Facebook. Check it out. And iTunes will be approved. It takes a little while for the approval process and mainly the cover art and everything. And it'll be approved. And not only the Collective Unfiltered, but Bucking 2MC. And all the other shows on Volunteer Roadshow are going down the same path.
That is what's up. So now there's no excuse for y'all not to hear our voice. If you can't make it and see us live on Facebook, pull it up. We're on everything. So that's definitely big blessings. Seeing as how we're coming up on our 1 year of officially being on the air, Lex. What?
Facts. And you know what? That's the perfect entry to what our show is about today. I'm gonna let Catfish take it over and do what you do, man, because for once we get to be the guest. So let's do it.
Well, you asked me to interview you and kind of talk about how it got started, how it all started. And we both have kind of the same beginnings. Most everybody knows. I started out as a truck driver with a camera phone and a YouTube channel with a big, humongous vision. And I knew you had to surround yourself with the right people. And it seemed like every step of the way when I got Billy, not long after that, man, that opened up a lot of doors. And that, you know, getting all these VFLs on the show, and it put all those fantasies in reach. And then I'm sitting there watching, I think it's on YouTube. I see this Collective Unfiltered. And I said, man, that's Alexis Hornbuckle. And I said, man, she's talented. And Jay, she's talented. Man, they're great. And I'm having lunch with a good friend of mine who, anybody that knows D-Lo knows that, man, he's a ball of energy. He's got great ideas. He's a visionary like me. And we've hit it off from the very beginning. And I said, D-Lo, there's these VFLs on YouTube. I said, because I talked to D-Lo about my vision, and he was one of the first. Hey, Billy, he was one of the first that didn't think I was crazy with my ideas and visions. His eyes got big, and we talk a lot. And great friend, great man, great human being, great advocate of of all he's got great nonprofits that he really works for. And he said, I know Lex. I said, well, you need to get in touch with her right now. And he said, I got it handled, boss. And so, and that was kind of the history of it. I saw y'all before, and you remember D-Lo reached out to you. Remember that?
I do. Yep. I remember. It's and that his response sounded just like D-Lo when you said it. I remember us just going back and forth, and I believe it was but correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was at the Lake House last year when we were talking, when he brought it up.
Yeah.
No, it was before that.
No,
it was around that time. It was around that time.
Yeah, it was.
He told me I needed to reach out to Bobby. He talked to Boog and I, and we were like, oh yeah, definitely, hell yeah. What's the number? How do we let's go back and forth and see if we can make this work for everybody. So that's pretty dope. Cause Boog, how do we start?
Yeah, how did you start? I don't know that I've ever heard the full story. How did it start? Y'all sitting around drinking wine and said, let's start a podcast, or how did it start?
Definitely wasn't wine.
Definitely wasn't wine.
Really, the idea started with us thinking that we should write a book. This was in college. This was in probably like 2000. I'd probably say 2006.
Yeah.
I was probably going to my sophomore year. She was junior, and we had gotten really tight. And we actually, we started living together. That's when shit got real. So, and we just always like, because our stories, like, they have similarities, but then they have, a lot of differences too. And so but we were so tight, like everywhere we were at, like Lex, like Jay wasn't too far behind, or vice versa. Lex wasn't too far behind her. She about to pull up. So it's just like we was always just like two peas in a pod. And so we was just like, yo, we need to write a book about this. And we used to joke about it and clown about it. And then Lex graduated, went pro, went to the league. Of course, we still rock with each other. I would go see her. She'd come see me. And then when did we really start talking about it again? Probably around the time he was retiring, maybe?
Yeah, probably towards the end of, if not that at the end of my last season and AAU, during that AAU season. So before pre-COVID is when we started to talk about it. Because I like Book said, we were like, we're going to write a book. We're like, nah, we need our own show. And and we were like, sometimes we do a little too much. We definitely don't want our own show yet. So it just translated into how can we, get our stories out and our versions and our truth, and what would it be built upon? How can we almost be all inclusive? And we sat down, and this was via FaceTime because Boog's in Atlanta and I'm in North Carolina, and Sandra was listening in to every call, and we started going. Sandra actually drew our logo. Boog, show them the logo.
It's up on the page. It's the top right corner.
Oh yeah, that's right. The collective Unfiltered, our 4 pillars: athletes, business, finance, and equality. Yeah.
And we I just lost my train of thought.
Old lady.
Huh?
Who would you say, because you're really telling the story of Billy Ratliff and myself. We're like two peas in a pod, but we both have our strengths and weaknesses. It seems like my strengths and his weaknesses and vice versa mesh so well. How does your strengths and weaknesses, what are they and how do they match up? Do y'all have that kind of vibe going on, or do y'all both?
I'd probably
similar?
say when it comes to like the actual, like the podcast, mine would be like social media. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Kind of that creative sphere. And Lex is like, I'd probably say like, well, her contact book is endless, right? I mean, I'd be like, bro, can you hit up so? Oh, yeah, I forgot about it. And I'm like, oh my God. But But then we're both people. We like talking to people. I don't know.
Yeah,
That sounded.
no, I know what you're saying because it's like a people person.
Yeah, we people.
See, me and Jay are a lot alike, and Alexis and Billy are a lot alike. Billy got all the contacts, you know, and I'm kind of the social media person and doing that kind of thing. So that's probably why, Jay, that's probably why you're my favorite.
I knew you were about to say that, Bobby. I knew you were about to go there.
And for me, I mean, and honestly, like,
y'all got to turn this heater off.
And honestly, too, like, think of, I mean, in my drafts professionally, there were 70 that got drafted.
Wow.
70 people, right? Wow. And of course, like, me and like one other my team, like I was the one that kind of played, you know, or stayed in it and kind of stuck with it. Some people went overseas, but you don't really have that many soccer players that go. So, you know, of course, I know a ton of people from just like playing in college and playing against people. And, you know, I was on teams with, you know, Megan Rapinoe and all them, but like, it's such a, it's a small, I think it's just a smaller community. So, you know, I was like, oh, my league folded. So I was like, all right, well. So, but yeah, Lex definitely, I mean, between playing overseas for 11 years, playing in the league, winning 2 titles, like, you know,
Jay hit that right on the head.
You know, so it's just, but yeah, I would say, but we do counter off each other.
Oh, for sure. Boog's way more organized than I am, number one. But the thing is, when it's go time, it's crazy because we are exactly the same when it comes to being a go time, which is the Lady Vol mentality, but just a true competitor mentality. Like, we both want to win and we will do whatever work it is to win. And since college, we've been doing a lot of that work together. So the chemistry, like of being teammates, you could say, in the real world, in the entrepreneurial world, it just kind of transferred over from college sports workouts to business.
Yeah.
What would you say? Like, I remember in the early stages of Volunteer Roadshow, I would be either driving all night and have these great ideas. And some of them were really good ideas and some of them were really stupid ideas. But I tried them anyway. What was that? But there always seemed to hit an obstacle. And that first obstacle really messed me up because I'm like, man, what in the world am I thinking with my vision? I'm just a truck driver. Why? What am I doing thinking about doing all that we've done? And was there any sort of obstacles that you hit or had any great ideas you tried and they didn't work or they did work? What was the creative process of how you got to where you are right now?
If I recollect correctly, listen, our first sit down drive through of the podcast was a complete disaster.
Oh my gosh, Bobby.
It took us about 6 hours to do nothing. At the end, I mean, the way that you have to look at it overall, because we didn't accomplish what we were trying to accomplish, was to do nothing. So we started out like, we're going to record these, and then we're going to upload
together at the time. We spent what? I was down there for like 8 days.
Yeah, like a little over a week.
So we're like, oh, we gonna film together. And Bobby, what's crazy is my GoPro. We just sat it up on the counter, and the GoPro just recorded until it died. So we have like behind the scenes of us being like
starting off.
Oh my God. Like the iPad just stopped working. Just stopped. We didn't have any footage. We were sitting here, we were like, oh my God. And then we had our phone set up. We had like 4 devices going because we was like, we don't know, but we want to have backups. My storage filled up. Lex's storage filled up. The iPad just stopped.
Yep.
And the GoPro died. Man, it was like, because we were like, oh, this is going to be dope. We had a banner. We have a banner printed. Like, it was behind us. We was like, oh, this is going to be real professional. We had our mics and stuff. I ain't had the professional mic that Lex had. We both had this one.
Yeah,
Just so y'all know where she started with the mic. Okay, I'm still here.
Started from the bottom. Now we here.
but yeah, I would say honestly, off the rip, for us, it was like, oh shit, what are we doing?
Yeah,
man, that brings back memories.
Maybe this isn't what we're meant to do.
That brings back memories because we had a humongous challenge because I drove a truck for a year after Billy joined. And I would have to have good internet. And we were doing a lot of live shows. And, man, that was hard. And our audio was our biggest obstacle in making a good product. Because I believe if you had a good product and it was visually appealing and you had a good technology, man, I had to learn everything on the fly. It was hard. But we finally, it seemed like we'd pick up a piece of technology here and there, and it slowly get better. They started, man, I don't even like watching some of the first ones. They're horrible. But they kept getting better and better and better. And I think what made it better is the closeness that me and Billy and I have. The closer we got, the better we got. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that once it's like a basketball team or a sports team having that chemistry. And I remember once I knew I could make this happen, I remember I just have a memory, and this is no lie, and it was about Pat. She was accepting an award for the Arthur Ashe Award, and I can hear it. I hear her voice so many times saying, "You win in life with people." Mm-hmm. I remember her saying that when she accepted the award. And that's what Volunteer Roadshow, that's been our mantra. Have the right people. If you surround yourself with the right people, good things will eventually happen. You know, we got Billy and just all the different people that would just been involved in the platform. You, Alexis, and Maria. It just seems like we're slowly building. It's not a get-rich-quit scheme. It's a lot of hard work.
It is.
A lot of hard work that people don't even realize. You know, this show will be on for an hour, but you know, I started an hour before the show started, making sure everything was right, getting the titles, doing all the description. It's not just an hour show.
No.
And the recorded ones are even harder. Like today, I gotta pat myself on the back. We did our first Bobby versus Billy show, and we uploaded it. I set Billy up. I wanted the first one to be something I could win, so I was going to be darts. So he was over there doing the packages on some of our stuff we sell online. And I said, I'm going to get him going. So I throw a couple darts and he looked up at me. And so anyway, it's on Volunteer Roadshow right now. You can go see who won that one. But anyway.
Yeah, y'all go check that out. That's what's up. But also just kind of like what you said, like in terms of you and Billy having that relationship, like for us, obviously we've been best friends for 15 years.
16?
Yeah. 16.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, like we know each other's stories, we know what each other's been through. So it's just like, you know, it's like we got each other's back. Like we're not going to let the other one, you know, fall without, you know what I mean? So it's just like we have that bond. This isn't just a show, you know, and it's not, and like you said, it's not a get rich quick scheme. We don't make a ton of money from this, but we enjoy it. And you know, at the end of the day, when we first started, Josh was like, yo, just be consistent.
Yeah.
And so
that's the main thing.
Our first producer.
Shout out to Josh Snyder.
Josh, our guy. But he was like, yo, just be consistent. Just set something up and stick with it. And really, we started this a month before COVID. And then it was like, So, but really, COVID has been a blessing for the show. For real.
It really has. It's presented a lot of obstacles that we didn't have before COVID.
Right.
But I always saw the silver lining in this whole COVID thing. Yeah, people aren't spending money right now on advertising. That's the downside. So that's why we started going towards merchandising and things like that. But there's a lot of you just got to find your niche. When somebody throws something at you, you've just got to find a way to make it. And the money will come, but if you do it because you love it, the people they're attracted to that. There's an old business saying, people like to do business where people where business is being done, basically. And it's just, you can tell when somebody likes something and they enjoy it, and that'll come out in your product.
Absolutely.
And what we're doing right now is product that people consume. What we're doing, it's a consumer based thing, and I wanted to have a little bit of everything for everybody. And it's no lie, I really want to have, it's a mission of mine to have the best Lady Vols coverage, sports coverage, not just basketball, but Lady Vols coverage in the state of Tennessee.
Well, soccer's not the spring season.
How about that? You need to have Boog do a show for soccer.
We need to. Yeah.
Yeah, that way, I mean,
we can call it the flop. You know how soccer players flop. You know, like
flop.
KD.
That is European.
Oh.
See, really? Bobby, you was my favorite. Now look. You done called it the
I just
flop.
thought it had a good little ring to it.
Sure,
we got some comments over here.
Cristiano Ronaldo's and such, even though he's one of my favorite players. But yeah, over there, I mean, I come up with something creative.
Yeah, we need to do something. We just got to try it. Don't just think about it. You got to have some vision. But if you just dream, nothing's going to happen. I don't care. I could dream I'm going to be a doctor, and if I just stay in bed dreaming, you ain't going to do nothing. You got to spend more time working. But we got Brianna Robinson. You know her. So what is a message that you want young girls to know today who are either in sports or professional careers? I guess that's both of you, I guess.
Yeah. A message that I would want young girls to know today basically is hard work is necessary. This day and age, a lot of kids don't want to work hard. They don't even enjoy working hard. It's called hard work for a reason, but that doesn't mean that it can't be enjoyed. Like, you should want to put yourself to the ringer in practices and trainings and workouts so that the games are easier. And I think a lot of young girls aren't understanding that because they don't naturally. Women, we don't naturally have that like that animal instinct that men have, all that testosterone. So it's hard sometimes for our teaching young girls to get that hunger and get that what we call that dog in them. Like, and if it's cool to have the dog in you, you could be a lady out there in the classroom, you could be a girly girl, but on the court, we need to find ways for these young girls to lock into their competitive mindset and natural, what's the word I'm looking for? Natural instinct to fight or flight. And it's way too much flight going on. So you definitely got to stay and fight. And to professional athletes, obviously you're doing the work, you're at the top level, but make sure you're doing the work to keep you there. And don't be satisfied. Like, you need to continue to work on being the greatest version of you, whether that's for your team or whether you're a team leader, role player, you know what I mean? Whatever it is. But that would be my advice. What about you, Bo?
I will take mine. I agree with everything you said. But in addition to that, I would take mine one step before the girls that want to play in sports in college, or even if they want to even just play now. And or professionally is your coaches. Like, the coaches, like, at this age, like, I stepped away from college coaching because I realized that the kids that we were recruiting weren't being pushed. They weren't being taught. They didn't understand what having a mentality was. Right. And so, like, obviously you had Diddy, you had teammates like Renee. So it's like, it was automatic in practice. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like, and same for me. Like, I had my teammates, I mean, almost all of my team went Division I. And so, and my coach was a college coach at the time too. But for the coaches at the youth level, like, stop just working for a check. There's a lot of money in youth sports, of course. But stop just going out there working for a check. I know coaches that go out and they do a little warm up and they scrimmage the whole practice, every practice.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Or they do the same drills over and over and over. There's no problem with repetition, but are you making it hard? Are you progressing? Are they understanding why they're doing something? So then on with that, for the athletes, if you go to practice and you know it's gonna be easy, and you're like, oh, heck yeah, it's Tuesday. Oh, I know, coach, we got a easy session today. How are you gonna get any better? So you have to take responsibility for your own game, no matter what sport it is, or even if it's not in sports, even if you're a graphic designer, a rapper, a singer, whatever. If you're doing something and it's easy, then it's going to be very difficult to become the best. And it's going to be very difficult to step into college at any level, NAIA, Division I, Division II, Division III, JUCO. Like, it's going to be very tough. I have players right now that were freshmen and they were like, oh my gosh, Jay, you were so right. Like I caught my mom crying for the first 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, but the reward is all worth it. You know what I mean? I mean, you and I, we both have championships at different levels, and the journey, and you know, of course, the journey. You know, you talk more about the journey to that championship than you really do the actual championship.
Right.
Obviously, for you, we can always talk about that tip, but you know what I mean? Like, for me, like, roller coaster of a senior season, but ended up being the first team in SEC history, the lowest seed in SEC history to win the tournament. And simply because you know what I mean? And it's just like, my best game was a semifinal. Like, I lost my mind. But so it's just like, you know, that process. So for all the young girls that want to do this is my long one. I'm sorry, y'all. I get passionate about it, y'all. I'm passionate. But yeah, man, don't let yourself settle. You know what I mean? Like, if you know you're good, don't wait for the easy practices. Or if you need to change, if you like, mom, dad, look, I need to go over here. They working, you know? Just because your friends are here, if they're really your friends, they'll still be there. But in order to achieve your goals and your dreams, I need to go over here and grind. So,
what would you say, like, risk? I remember, you know, I had a full-time job and it was basically to fund volunteer roadshow because I believed in it. It was a risk. But I remember I said, we'll never go to the next level unless I could devote 100% of my time to this. We'll always just be barely getting it, making it. And it was a risk to quit my job, a good job, and to do this 100% without any income, without anything. Sometimes you just got to take a risk and you just got to jump. But that's when you really got to put up or shut up. But how would you say, like, risk and reward? The bigger the risk, sometimes the bigger the reward. Sometimes it's the bigger failure too. But failure has always been something I liked. I wouldn't say liked. It's not a failure if you don't learn.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But if everything that doesn't work, if you learn something, I don't think it is a failure, really. And that's just so cliche. But what about risk in you know, y'all are both entrepreneurs. What kind of risks have y'all taken and the mindset about it? And you can relate that to sports.
Amiga?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think your story of coming into entrepreneurship is a huge ass risk. So definitely started off. Oh, but shit, maybe I should go because I can't really follow that. Nah, you go. You go.
You go.
All right, I'm gonna go. Because that story's gonna trump mine. But risk for me, as far as, you know, the basketball training, the podcasting, starting or going into coaching for travel ball and AAU, number one, it was scary. I had to take the risk and say, I'm not going to just play for a paycheck. My mind isn't in the sport as an athlete, as the performer. Now my passion is, you know, going to help others. Okay. So the risk I had to take, similar to you, Bobby, was I had to basically say, I'm not going to go overseas for 4 or 5, 6 months, 7 months, and I make X amount of dollars. And here, I don't know if I'm going to make a penny. But I believe in me. I believe in my own brand. And I believe that, I found my purpose. And before I actually took that risk, I went through a process of, just connecting to my purpose, figuring it out, asking myself questions, trying different things, failing a lot. You know what I mean? Getting discouraged, coming back up, having better ideas or better ways to do the same idea. And it was scary because I don't live by myself. I live with my girlfriend, as does Bug. So, you know, it's still like my half of rent or my half of this or paying for this or wanting to take her somewhere or wanting to do stuff for myself, and realizing all that has to be sacrificed. You know, not the rent. You gotta pay your bills, y'all. You gotta pay your bills. I'm talking about you know, the extra stuff. You know, you may not need to go out to eat, or you may not need to buy a 6-pack of beer or a bottle for the weekend. You may want to take that time you were going to use to hang out and put it towards your craft. Go through practice runs. I mean, Boog and I started to, hey, let's record. Let's go through this a couple times before we get to the real one, right? We learned. Then we're like, hey, let's go live, because we both love to kind of bounce. Our energy is crazy. And we want people to really feel our energy and see it, not just watch it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was scary, because now it's like, all right, we're going to set a time, and this is what we're going to do. Both entrepreneurs, like you said, when her soccer schedule is crazy, it is crazy. So that 7 to 8 is a sacrifice for either business, money in her pocket from private lessons, group lessons, trainings, clinics, whatever, or it's taken out of her commitment as a coach or my commitment as a coach, going to tournaments or practice or whatever. So you're scheduling schedules around multiple things. And that's scary, especially when you don't have a residual income coming from, you know, any of your main entrepreneurial ideas or current businesses.
That's awesome. You mentioned brand. Everybody has a brand. It's either a good brand or a bad brand, and it's more than just a logo. Yeah, you need a cool logo. That's important and all that, but your brand is everything. Like the Volunteer Roadshow brand is the collective Unfiltered. It's me, it's Billy, it's Jeff, it's, you know, Marie. It's so much. Your brand is what you do and your product too. And your brand is so much more. And I work more now than I did when I was driving, you know, I work lots more. I'm sitting in this chair probably 17, 18 hours a day, and I'm not kidding.
Ooh, you got a comfy chair?
Yeah, leather one. Yeah, I got. If you lean too far back, that little pin will pop out and you about bust your butt. But anyway, what about you, Jay? What kind of risks did you take? I think I kind of remember one of them you'd had, like you were coaching, and what just possessed you just to start doing this?
So, obviously, I was playing out of college. I was playing pro, and then I got out of playing pro, and then the league folded the following season. So I was like, whew, goodness. But out of playing, I was kind of like, what do I want to do? My mindset was always like, I've never been a person that can be sitting down 9 to 5. Like, it's never been me. I have so much energy, and I'm a people person, and I want to give. And so, like, I was talking to my mentor, my private coach growing up in Ohio, and he was like, yo, good friend of mine, college coach at the University of Iowa, he needs an assistant coach, a goalkeeper coach. I was like, Iowa? He was like, just go visit. Just go hear him out, go visit. I was like, all right, I'll go. So went, offered me the job on the spot. I was like, all right, boom. Big bro, mom, pops, we driving to Iowa because y'all helping me move. So literally at the time I drove from DC to Ohio, and then Ohio to Iowa. And then I coached there for 2 years, coached at the University of Texas for 4. University of Texas, dream job, in a sense. I mean, you're working for the richest athletic department.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just the things that you received as a staff member, the perks, like,
that was definitely our dream job. That was definitely our dream job.
Right. Lex even came down and kicked it with the basketball team, she hopped into practice, you know, when Karen Aston was there. So, you know, she came down and kicked it. Was, what's her name? Was Thompson. She was the assistant, right?
Yeah, at that time. Yep.
Yeah. So, and y'all played together for a minute. So, It's all love, but like, so I stepped away from a job. I mean, I didn't want for anything living in Texas. And so it's just like, I was at a point, I was recruiting in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're looking for a goalkeeper for a couple years away. And I was actually sitting with one of my best friends, Dro, and we were just chilling. And I was like, he was like, yo, how was your day? He lives out there. He was like, how's your day? I was like, oh my gosh, these girls were struggle bus, like basics, like if Lex thinking about like recruiting a player, she can't make a layup. She can't fundamentally put the ball in the square and drop it in the basket. It's like, what are you doing? So I was recruiting, I was watching these goalkeepers, and I'm like, what are these girls learning? What are they being taught? Reached out to a couple coaches, and I was like, yo, what's your goalkeeper training like for your club? Blah, blah, blah. One day a week, usually about 30 keepers. I was like 30 keepers with 5 coaches. And they're like, nah, just one. So long story short, I was just like, yo, like, I love kids. I love working with the youth. And so I made the decision. I really made the decision a year prior, but my goalkeeper was in her senior year, going into her senior year. So then her senior year, she got married at the end of her senior year. She got drafted to Boston, ironically, like I did. And so I was able to see her walk down the aisle, see her accomplish her dreams, and get called into the national team. I was like, deuces. Of course, some of my other youngins were mad, but it was just like I had to step away. I needed a little bit more work-life balance, but I also needed to follow my purpose. What I felt was my passion. And
that's the kids.
The kids. Mm-hmm. I love being on the field. Today I've been up since 6:30. I had my first session at 6:30 a.m. and I didn't leave the field until 1:45. Wow. And so it's just like,
so you just basically pulled the trigger overnight, or was it planned?
No, about 6 months.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want to.
Needed a few more paychecks before you did it.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby, I had that vacation time stacked up because I moved to Atlanta. My parents lived here. I flew my brother out there, and I was like, bro, I need you. He's like, all right, bet. He took 3 days off. I flew him out to Texas. We packed up a U-Haul truck, everything. And we drove overnight, like 15 hours from Austin to Atlanta. I got a storage unit and packed that thing like Tetris. I lived with my parents for like 6 months. And I was like, okay, I don't got rent.
Now it's put up or shut up time right now in your life, isn't it?
Man, what? Literally, I moved in May. I moved the beginning of May. It was like May 3rd, like Memorial Day, or not Memorial Day weekend, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And by the end of May, I had my name, everything. And I was like, all right, I got to get a website. Got a website. Boom. But in the meantime, I was like, yo, I got to make money. I can't live off a vacation and one paycheck. So, Bobby, I Ubered. I got a job at I'm a sneakerhead. So I was like, well, I got to fund the habit and the business. So I was like, I started selling shoes like crazy. But it was just like, I had to have an income to essentially fund my dreams. And so here we are 4 years later, 5 years, going into 5 years.
So you've been away from Texas for 5 years, that long, going on 5 years?
5 years, and my business honestly, I've had to be patient and just stick to the process, because there were times where same as Lex, like I felt so discouraged, and I'm just like, ugh, like I got to get my name out there, like, and you talk about brand, and man, your brand is everything. Your brand is everything, and now I'm at the point.
Sometimes you only got one shot, one opportunity.
Yeah, and
to make it.
I had people, even Lex, she had some players that are dual athletes, soccer, basketball, and they reached out to me like, hey, we'll come there. You can come here. Like, well,
Yeah.
like we know you're the truth. And, you know, now I'm at a point, I'm getting people reaching out for me from Alabama, Jacksonville. And it's just like, yo, we want, and to be a female is really dope too, because they like, you know, my little girl gets to see somebody that's like her doing it the right way. So, and doing it the right way too. You know, like this is my living, but I'm not trying to scam you.
And I'm sure you're still sweating bullets. I know I still sweat bullets. You know what drives me? There's two things. Everybody, all my friends and family know about my crazy ass dream. And I know they're like, man, that's like, you ain't going to be able to do that. My pride of being able to prove people wrong drives me. And then I've got so many people that are counting on me to perform so they can perform. And so I got to do it. Those are the things. But I still sweat bullets because how am I going to be? We got to get better. Always trying something new. Hey, I'll tell you afterwards, we've got some great things going. I'm talking that'll send us to the moon very soon. But anyway, so, you know, it's I'm always trying something. So I'm sure you're like me. You're like still always nervous.
Man, me and Boo done tried so many things together. Literally,
you gotta try
this is how it goes. Whatever Boog is doing, I'm gonna always support, and vice versa. And we'll have great ideas like, you know what, I tried this and you kind of tried that. Let's try it together. We'll be like, nah, what the hell was we thinking? But that's what we do. Like if you're not trying, you're not living. Like you have to put yourself out there. You have to be vulnerable. Like you said, Bobby, you just gotta jump. You just gotta go. Like you gotta see if you can fly. And you may you may fall flat on your face, or you may soar. And that 50-50 chance, how can I not take that 50-50 chance when I tell my players all the time, take the shot. You have a 50-50 chance of making it. And I believe you can. And if you miss it, let's find a way to get you a better shot, correct your form, whatever it is, but we got to take the chance.
Shot.
Yeah.
Take the shot. My dad's always been in business, big time businessman, but he always had a saying. The answer's always no until you ask. Then you got a 50-50 shot. You know, sometimes it might not be 50, but you don't have a shot. It's kind of like buying a lottery ticket. You can't win a damn lottery if you don't buy a ticket.
Did scratch off won $7 today. Woo-hoo. Go ahead.
But you think back on your crazy ideas.
Yeah, it was a $2 scratch off.
That's good. That's good money. Hey, I'll tell you a crazy idea about that I look back on and says, how crazy was I to think this? And I want to know what was your moment that's like mine. I kind of had a little bit of a name in Vol Nation as this crazy truck driver on YouTube. People like me, had lots of views, tens of thousands, 100,000. I had a lot of people that liked me, but I really was nobody. I was driving, and I knew I had to have money to fund my dream. So I go to Hound Dogs. I don't know why I thought I could just go in and just get a sponsorship. I drove my truck into their parking lot and parked and walked in. I only had like 30 minutes to spare. I was running late. I had to go. And I said, but I got to do it. I don't know when I'll be back through Knoxville. I did it. I walked in there. A couple people recognized me from the YouTube. And he said, man, we already spending all our money at WNML and the newspaper. We've already got our budget up. And do you have a player with you? I said, no, I'd like to interview one someday, but I've never even interviewed one. But they were wanting to put their advertising dollars with like a player, a VFL, or somebody, or somebody with a name in radio. And I left. I thought I could get $100 out. That was my goal. I'm gonna go in here and get $100 a month out of them. Start there. Not a penny. And let me tell you what. This is the craziest part about it. I said I got to get me a player. You know what I did? I started making me a list, and I didn't care how far-fetched the idea of me even being able to possibly get a player to join me on Volunteer Roadshow. And I kept thinking, I had a couple of people in mind. I wanted it to be more than just star power. You know, Peyton's the number one of everything. I didn't want that. Even if I knew I could get, I wanted it to be about life and more, you know, what we're doing on the Volunteer Roadshow. And I thought of what strikes an emotional reaction to people, the good story. And there were two people, Billy Ratliff with Arkansas Fumble. He was on my number one on the list, and Dwayne Goodrich. He got drafted at the Cowboys. He had some problems. He went, had some legal issues, and I said, but he's had a great story when he got out. And I said, those are the people I want to be involved. And I had 5 or 6 people, and I just wrote them a letter. What am I thinking? And eventually Billy saw it, and it's like, you ain't gonna believe this, bro. Just the other day, my wife's telling me you ought to be able to get back into doing this kind of stuff, and it's just like perfect timing. It was the perfect timing. But if you think about a truck driver that don't have a penny to his name and really isn't nobody, writing a legend, join me. Like I was acting like I was somebody. But when I thought back about it, I said, how crazy is that? But when it was going on, I was like, I knew it was going to happen. I knew without a doubt I was going to get somebody. But when you think about it from a distance, that is kind of crazy. You got to admit. So what was that like with y'all, where you just had this, you look back and you said, man, that was crazy, but it worked, or something like that in life, even not just in your business, but in life or whatever. But sometimes you, like you said, you just got to take your shot, and I took my shot. That's a tough one.
Mine.
Or what do you look back and you say, man, that was stupid? That's the way I look back at it. I'm like, man, that was crazy.
Boy, some of the investments not investments, or just little.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Keep going. Keep going.
Me and Legs done tried.
MLM, network marketing.
Yeah, we done took so many L's. Like, but we've had some wins too. You know, we've come up with things. But you know, at the end of the day, like, I've always been a little bit of risk taker, like in that sense, like
me too.
You know, relatively speaking, I've been good with my money. Like, I keep a savings, I keep a nest egg. So like every now and then I might be like, let's see what it, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't make those decisions anymore, because like Lex said, I have a household. Obviously me and Bree live together, so we have a puppy running around now. Lex, you got that too.
Yeah.
Shit gets expensive with these tiny motherfuckers.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's only 9 weeks old.
Right. We got a postcard today about Jupiter's due for this shot on January 19th. Is it covered?
Right.
But now, honestly, like, you know, we tried a lot of MLM and network marketing. And like I said, I mean, we took some L's in a sense, but for me, it's like, what knowledge did I gain from it as well? You know what I mean? Especially in terms of business. And it for me, it just broadens the umbrella. So when people come to me with certain things, I'm like, come on now, that's your script, you know? And then I think just personally with my business, I mean, my biggest, honestly, I think mine was just literally going from a great income, full benefits to boom.
Most people would probably say you were crazy. I'm sure your parents probably thought you were.
And you know, you get additional month of healthcare coverage with Cobra, and then after that, it's like you need health insurance. And then, even though I'm relatively healthy, it's like I ain't gonna go without health insurance. And so it's like, what's Obamacare? I gotta pay what a month? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. Like,
what'd your parents say when you told them you were quitting your job, a great job?
Oh, they supported me 1,000%.
Good, awesome.
They were like, follow your dreams. My parents, like, they've always been like a huge. Bree just goes, they're very rare.
That is rare.
But they have supported me and my brother through all of our mistakes and mishaps and whatnot, to just follow our dreams and be who we are at our core. And that's really just, I have a huge family on both sides. So it's always been that for us. And that's one of the things that drives me, because I've been successful. And I think it gives people in my family like positive, like you know what? I'm gonna keep grinding, Mel grinding. Like, I'm gonna keep going. Like, she gives me light and love. So, but yeah, that definitely by far be my biggest risk this far.
What's your vision for the collective Unfiltered and you personally? Let's go into the future. We talked about the past, but what's your vision for your media stuff? We'll start there.
Well, our vision from the beginning was to have the biggest audience that we can have, and we want to make it so people are asking us to come onto the show. And we knew that wasn't going to happen at the beginning. And when we got with Josh, the views started picking up. But when we really got with Volunteer Roadshow, when we got with you, Bobby, things really picked up. And Boog was like, hey, this is happening on YouTube. And then you blessed us with the announcement today of the platforms that we're on. And the bottom line is we want to continue to do this until we ain't got no teeth in our mouth. Just for fun. I mean, because life's
on my teeth, okay?
Hey, listen, like I say,
So you're doing it because you want to make.
Our vision is to be on the biggest platforms, to be able to be at Tennessee games, doing pre-games or post-games, interviewing players, coaches, like really making it legit and making us a go-to platform for Lady-Vol women's sports and for business and for women of color and for people of the LGBTQ plus community and for any and everybody, for everybody from the most popular, celebrity to, someone who's struggling with mental health and doesn't believe in themselves. We want to be able to reach a multitude of people, and we know that we're on the right path now. In my opinion, that's my vision. What you got, bud?
Of course, bro. We on the same page, and just to echo what she said is really just like the personal development of the youth. We both have a passion for kids. Maria. We both have a passion for the youth and for kids and for creating. I think for us creating a platform that was not available to us. We're female.
That's it.
LGBTQ, professional athletes, entrepreneurs, and business owners. So creating that platform through this and being able to give back. Of course, we both have our own businesses, but we also do a lot of business together. So if this platform can be, multi-tier, if that's the word I'm looking for, multifaceted, to where, creates a realm to where we start to have more of the youth tuning in. Of course, we got our Lady Vol faithful out here.
Mm-hmm.
But, if we can get to start to get more of the youth to lock in and be like, oh, man. And then, that starts to generate a platform over here to where we can have, clinics and seminars with mentality building and empowerment and,
The internet is a powerful tool. You don't realize how powerful it is. I remember the first email I got from somebody in Japan. He was in the Marine Corps, and he says, man, I hate Tennessee, but I like watching your show, and you help me with my homesickness. And I'm like, on the internet? You can't do that on the radio.
Yeah.
That's on the internet.
Absolutely.
And then being able to help somebody, man, I never dreamed. That really turned the light bulbs on me because I was suffering from depression till about my fourth video, and then I quit taking Zoloft. That's what this did to me personally.
Wow.
Because this really occupied my mind. And then my vision was, as I said, there's a lot of talented people that would love to be in sports media, but don't have a chance. Mm-hmm. They don't have college, or they're not in the clique. They haven't been brought. But they've got the gift of gab. They got a great voice. They can talk. They could either write, or they just don't have a chance. And that's when I decided to turn Volunteer Roadshow into a platform to help people that may be underprivileged, that would never, ever, ever get a chance. It's my belief that the most talented people are still out there, never been discovered, and I want to discover them. And I want to give them an opportunity, and they go to do ESPN, and I get to say, man, I helped that guy get started. That's what I want this to be, a platform to help people hone their craft and to reach people. That's it right there. That's my mission.
And you're doing it. And we thank you for.
I thank y'all, man. Y'all done a lot for me, and I really appreciate it. There's been a lot of people that's done things. I'm living a freaking dream, Lex and Jay.
I love it. I love to hear
I'm living
that,
a dream. If you would have told me, and I've said this when I was on your show or told you in private, if you'd have told me 21 years ago when my voice was gone from that Arkansas game, that in 21 years from now, you'll be living with Billy Ratliff, being partners with him in a thing, and you'll have Fulmer, Kessling, and all these people that I've got to meet and get to know. I'm living a dream. If I don't make a penny, I've lived a dream of any Tennessee fan.
There you go.
No, you really have, though. That's dope. Like, that story in itself is dope. Actually, we might want to put this up just for content. I kind of like that, Bobby. We need to talk after this, after my other Zoom meeting tonight, then either tonight or tomorrow for sure. But, yeah, thank you. That's big.
Well, thanks for letting me be on with you and interview. I like hearing your stories because you can help people. You don't even realize. I remember the first time I mentioned depression to somebody, how this helped me. I had more people write me and say, man, you wouldn't believe it. I can't believe you mentioned depression, and I have depression, and it's been at least 10 or 12 people say, man, I'm glad you said that. It makes me feel not so inferior because you're a truck driver, big guy, and you admit you have depression and how you got better. You just quit Zola. I mean, it was literally within days from when it was just overnight. My depression was cured, and this cured it right here because my mind was always thinking. Absolutely. And got to connect with people.
Yeah, it's got to be personal. It can't just be business. I hate when people say it's not personal, it's business. Well, those are the type of people I don't want to be in business with.
Yep.
Thanks. Hey, Bobby, before we go, I kind of just want to let everybody know what my personal goals for 2021, what I got going on. And obviously Bug's going to do the same thing. And if you want to hop in and give that too, and then we'll start to wrap this thing up for tonight.
Let's hear it.
All right. First off, let me tell y'all, my fitness journey has been like this. 2021 fitness journey. What is that? Oh, 9-week control freak? Duh. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm doing Team Beachbody. If y'all don't know, my girlfriend Sandra Garcia is a Team Beachbody coach. I'm also a coach, but I'm not really doing the business part of it. I'm really doing it for the discounts. On the coaching part, but we had a conversation, myself, her, my cousin, and we're like, why not do this? This is a great excuse for me to stay consistent on my fitness journey. Like you, Bobby, I do struggle with anxiety and depression, and take medicine for it. So some days are better than others, but at the same time, my 2021 goal is to stay locked in. And when I'm not locked in, be able to ask for help. And Boog knows, like, sometimes I'll be like, Boog, what you doing? We literally might sit on the phone and just work, and we might not even be working on the same stuff, but just she's my accountability part. Like, she's my person. So we just sit there and we do that, and it helps my mindset and it keeps me going. So 2021 for me is about consistency, focus, and self-discipline. And more accountability. So I'm going to get my butt in shape. 9 weeks, holla at me. I'm going to show y'all my before and after at the end of the 9 weeks. I'm a little bit of a fatty right now. But doing that, and business-wise, Alexis Hornbuckle Basketball, the LLC that I have, which is all of my training camps and clinics, really monetizing that on a level where I can give back to kids. Not monetizing to fill my pockets up, but so I can do more in the community on my own, not just, with the other organizations that I'm either on the board or a part of the committee, to be able to stand on my own too, and give back more into the community is another goal. And the last one would probably be the brand, like just really not being afraid to say no and not being afraid to say yes. So living outside of fear, I think, a lot of people get surprised when I'm like, man, fear has been kicking my butt for about a year. I get hype. I get all these visions. I textbook, call book, let's say no, whatever. And then I don't follow it. I don't execute. So that's on my plate, and let me tell y'all, January has started off very well. As most people start off very strong, right? It's not that; it's the middle and the end of the journey. So y'all stay with me. That's what I got going on. Alexis Hornbuckle basketball, FBC Rain, linked up with FBC down in Atlanta. Coach Mo, we FBC strong. Hashtag sincerely savage. But that's what we on, man. Bobby, I promise you in 2021, I'm going to touch the most amount of young females that I've ever touched in my life. That's what I got going for 2021.
And I hope we can help you do that too.
I know you can. You're already doing it, so thank you.
You know, I'm already coming to Charlotte, so you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And when you come to Atlanta, that's a wrap. But for me, honestly, 2021, like I'm super excited. 2020 for me, it was a blessing and I won't say a curse. It was a blessing and tough at the same time. But just taking all the positives and the lessons learned. Coming in 2021, first and foremost, just my personal development, just for me and Jaimel, is just creating boundaries. I have a tendency when clients hit me up to work around what I got going on to be like, I could probably get you in at 3:30, knowing that I've been grinding from 6:30 a.m. to 2, right? And so it's just like creating those boundaries and telling people, look, this is my schedule. If you want this, like, figure it out. Like, I have a life too. So creating those boundaries, not transforming, but really, really, really diving into just broadening the way that I handle business, what in terms of financially, my website, how I train, different techniques, different tactics, just taking that to the next level. And in terms of the gold standard training, like elevating, we added the nutrition piece, the meal piece to it. But really, really pushing it. Kind of what you spoke on. You talked about like you haven't done things out of fear or a little bit of hesitation. There's a little bit of that for me because for me, like I always want to kind of have my ducks in a row when I approach somebody about something. Mm-hmm. But it may not always be that. Like you might just need to just be like, hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 to do that because quite frankly, like right now, like my sales are up like 79% in the last 30 days. Site traffic's up like 20%. Wow. So it's just like I took the initiative to like really create things and push it and reach out to, I have a huge email database and I just blasted it and I did ads and stuff, but that's literally like the first ad I've done in 3-4 months. So I've done all of this without using my brand and branding myself and just word of mouth more or less and people that I know. So I just really expanded on that and just like, I want this to be the number one training in Atlanta and ultimately having my own facility, basketball court, turf field, gym, smoothie bar, nutrition bar, all that. And
that's awesome.
Over with.
Oh yeah, we gonna have. I'm coming to Bug's facility. Bug coming to my facility. We might even have a facility together somewhere, man. It's gonna get wild for years to come.
Oh, and lastly, I'm a little side hustle, potentially real estate license.
Do it. Do it.
Looking at all those little things right now.
We have a subscription. I've got 3 licenses for one of the biggest email blasting companies out there. I don't know, most people don't know this, but LuTube.fan website is ours. HowardRock.net is ours. We've got a 12 million view channel on YouTube, Uncle Lou, that does University of Georgia. He's down there in Atlanta. And so we run that's not just Volunteer Roadshow. We're running a lot of stuff people don't even see. But that email thing, I'm learning a lot about that program. I had to pay a few $100 for it, but you might be able to use it. If you want to use it, I'll help you get signed up for it.
Yeah,
Big facts. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I already paid for it. I'm still learning how to build all the graphics and links. When you can take an image and make it, when you click on an email and click a picture, it takes you to a website. It does all that.
Ooh, that pisses me off too. But
Hmm.
if it grabs you, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. That's what's up. We definitely we are saying yes. Okay.
Okay.
To that. Oh yeah, one more thing. So I did decide to put my money where my mouth is, and because Book told y'all I'm terrible when it comes to marketing and social media. So shout out to PG Sports. You know, we on the grind.
Oh, I
My guy
like it.
Paul gets me situated. Make sure that the posts are up weekly, keeping the engagement high. He also helps me, be a guest on other podcasts, other established podcasts and
That's
platforms.
huge.
Yeah, and I've even been a guest on his actual platform, which was dope. So yeah, it's 2021 is moving, but that'll probably be the thing that I'm like, is it worth the money? I mean, I could do it. I mean, I could save my money and do this organically, but I can't. Like,
you're not
seriously,
gonna do your social media. You're not.
nah. I just like I don't like doing it. So if I don't do it, it's not going to get done. Therefore, everything we're in a instant internet era, and if we're not out on these social media platforms or have websites or whatever that's like Book said catches your eye, you ain't shit. So
Right.
shout out to PG Sports. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I got 6 months. I've spent the last 6 months generating content. I have 6 months worth of content that I have not put out yet.
Yeah,
So,
We've started a e-commerce merchandising.
ooh, e-commerce is a move right now.
Yeah, and it's basically help people
It
learn
is
how to navigate e-commerce, merchandising, how to do all that stuff, and we've gotten some. What started that is I helped somebody get started who was a DJ in Atlanta on a Christian station in Canton, Georgia, and he did Sunday from like noon to 3, and I said, man, you need to do something on your own. And now he's a top 50 business podcast in the country on iTunes.
Wow,
and
that's what's
business podcasts and business media is the next big thing. And we've jumped on it. We've recorded a lot of stuff, and we're working on that too. So that's another thing for BCM Productions, which is really the people that's what owns Volunteer Roadshow. So we're doing a lot more than just sports. We're trying to do a lot of things because you got to have a lot of streams of passive income, and y'all already learned that. If you've got a bunch of little dollars coming in, that's the same as sometimes that's the way you got to attack it. And D-Lo taught me a lot about that stuff. D-Lo is a resource, and D-Lo loves to be a resource to people.
Oh, he's
be back. Amazing man.
Yeah, don't worry. He gonna be on this guest list coming up. You heard it, D-Lo. You coming up.
Facts. Do we have any other questions before we start the show?
I believe that's it.
Oh, that's it. Maria lost all her lower teeth, but she's still going.
Maria, we got Buck and 2MC on all the podcast platforms and soon to have iTunes. I've turned them all into podcasts, every last one of them. And Collective Unfiltered will have the last ones here by midnight.
Shout out.
All of them. So
Let's go. Hey, we appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in for the first Monday in 2021. We're going to do some big things. Volunteer Roadshow, we appreciate you. Boog, I appreciate you. And just thankful that our friendship has gone from 0 to 100 in every aspect of our lives as we continue to grow. And I look forward to really just blowing this out the water.
We're going to.
Yeah, and being one of the most well-known, most watched podcasts in the world, period. We have a lot to offer. We have a lot to give, and I can't wait till we can give it to as many people as possible.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Big shout out to our sponsors once again. Just Pass It Tutoring out of Miami. Hound Dogs of Knoxville. Thank you for accepting Bobby and Billy. He got his big name Vol in there.
When I got it, they gave me some money then.
Got it. Tennessee Tap House. And of course, Terry with Orange Mountain Designs, who appreciate y'all. Definitely go check out her store online, or if you're in Tennessee, Knoxville, Alcoa area, please go check her out in store. And check us out on all these podcast platforms. You know, we everywhere. We'll be on iTunes next week. For those of you, the iPhone generation, check that out. And tomorrow, January 5th, if you are in Atlanta, Georgia, and you have not voted in this,
is that the last day?
Election,
is that the last day tomorrow?
Huh?
Is tomorrow the last day?
I'm going to show y'all this real quick. Sorry.
Yeah.
All of this is in my mailbox. Like, literally. Oh, shoot. Literally, I went to get mail. Like, we were looking for like 2 pieces of mail. I had to go through all this mail. Like, it's all like they folded up whole like things about voting, and I've never seen anything like it ever in my life.
Paper.
Huh?
They used the good paper too.
Good. I'm talking that good weight too.
Yeah.
But yeah, please go vote. This is extremely important. This will determine Congress, Senate.
Yep.
We need it big
and
time.
If you don't vote, keep your pie hole shut.
Exactly.
Thanks.
So yeah, definitely important day tomorrow. So prayerfully by the end of the night, well, I don't know if we'll have all the votes counted, but prayerfully we flip it, we get this guy all the way blue. So yeah.
That's where we at. Shout out tomorrow. Check out the Buck and 2MC show live, 7 p.m. Same platform, Volunteer Roadshow. Yep. See y'all tomorrow.
Adios. Go Vols.
Yeah, Unfiltered in your truth.
Yeah.